Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Articles and MCQs. Today we are going to start the fourth type of synovial joint, that is pivot joint. If you have not studied the previous types of the synovial joint, I will give the link in the description box. You can study them. Moving towards the definition of the pivot joint, this joint consists of a rounded end of one bone fitting into a ring formed by an other bone. In the previous videos, you have learned that the synovial joints differ in their structure. Means the bones present along the different types of synovial joints have different structure. So the bones that are present along the pivot joint are also in a specific shape or form. One bone will be rounded at one end and the other bone will form a ring type structure. As you can see in that diagram, there is a bone. Let's suppose there are these two bones. First one, this bone that has a rounded shaped structure, and that is the second bone here, and that second bone has a ring shaped structure. And you can see that first bone is fitting into the ring shaped structure of the second bone. So this that point is forming the pivot joint. According to the movement of the pivot joint, it is allowing the rotational movement. Means the first bone that is have a rounded structure that is fitting into the second bone having a ring shaped structure. The first bone will move in a rotation or in a rotatory movement as the rounded bones move along its own axis. You can see in that diagram there is a first bone that has a ring shaped structure and the second bone that is rounded in shape. The first bone is rotating in the ring shaped structure of the second bone. The main example of the pivot joint is the joint that is present between the first and second vertebrae of your neck. The first and second vertebrae are called atlas and axis vertebrae respectively. You can see here this is a first vertebrae and there is a second vertebrae, and how they are fitting onto each other. This bone is a rounded bone and the second bone has a ring shaped structure. The first bone, rounded bone, is fitting into the ring shaped structure of the second bone. You are having a specific that is pivot joint in your vertebrae, and that pivot joint, as I have told you, that pivot joint is giving you rotational movement. So in this diagram you can see that how that rotation is possible. You can see by rotating your skull in the both sides. You can move your skull towards the right side and also towards the left side. It is all due to, or it is all because of the presence of the pivot joint that is present between the first two vertebrae of your neck. That was a main example of the pivot joint. If you have or understand all the definition and movement and examples of the pivot joint, then share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. In the next video, you will study about the condyloid and ball and socket joint.